person was trying to buy ammo and their background check failed because their address is wrong in the system, where do they go to fix it? Now, this is California specific. A few years ago, California started doing essentially it's a background check. It's very much the same steps to buy a firearm. You now have to go through essentially the same steps to purchase ammo, and that includes a background check. Now, there's no wait period, but there is a background check, and you have to pay a fee or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a buck.
And California, in all their infinite wisdom, they didn't just connect it up to the same database. It's a whole new database, and we're finding out that this database is messy and inaccurate, and nobody cares about it, and it sits in the corner and waits to be beaten for the night. I mean, it's horrible. It's a really horrible database, and I don't think that that's an accident. I think they purposely don't care about this database. So what if people can't buy ammo?
Right.
So if you go in and you can't buy ammo because if you go in, your name's John Smith, and they go, okay, you're John Smith from 555 Main Street. That's what it says on your ID. But in the system, you're John Smith from 123 Walnut Street. Guess what? You don't get to buy ammo.
Correct.
So, right? I'm describing the situation?
Yeah. So I think that part of the confusion and what I think a lot of people don't get is they use the term background check in relation to ammo. It's actually technically not a background check in the spirit of what we normally think of as a background check. What they are doing is when you want to purchase ammo, what they do is they run the information that gets collected by the salesperson that gets run through a database, and it gets kicked back with either an approval, a denial, or a delay. And what that's doing is it's not a true background check. What they are doing is they're taking the data that was input and they're checking it against the database of people who've DROSed a firearm in the state of California in the last, I would estimate to be about the last 8 years or so was when this started. If you've purchased and DROSed a gun, you'll be in that database. So when they run your background check, it's just a computer system. It's not a person. So when they run your check, what's put in, they then check it against what's in existence on file. If it matches, you clear. If it doesn't match, like you said, you've moved or something like that, or in my case, I have had a firearm that was DROSed and my name was misspelled. Things like that happen. And in that case, the background check for ammo will not pass because it doesn't match the database that it's checking to look for.
Gotcha.
UN. So
how do you fix that?
So it kind of depends on what's wrong. If it's a name misspelling, you need for a couple different reasons. You need to go back to the original shop, the FFL that DROSed it, and you need them to fix it.
Okay.
So, because what happens is if you have a firearm DROSed and the name is not proper, they misspelled it, you didn't catch it. When you DROSed a gun, they ask you to verify the info, check it, take a minute and look at it. Don't make in my case, for example, I was just moving fast. I trusted the salesperson because I knew him. I didn't look as close as I should. I take the blame for that when my firearm was DROSed improperly. But you need to go back to the shop that DROSed it. A couple different issues. If you get into an issue with this gun, technically that firearm is not really registered to you if your name is misspelled on the DROS. Which could be a potentially legal problem.
In California especially.
Correct.
I mean, California is so extreme when it comes to the penalties on any kind of gun violation. You don't want to run afoul. So if you do not want to be caught with an unregistered firearm, even if it was simply a mistake from the firearm.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. So if it's a name issue, you need to go back to the original FFL. They need to fix it. Okay. They may not like it. They might try to fight you and say that they can't. They can and they have to. You need them to fix it. Don't let them try to tell you they can't.
So one way to fix it, go back to the shop. Especially if it has to do with names. What's number two? What's number two way?
So if you for names, that is the only way.
That's the only way.
So the only way I'm aware of. I should put that out there. If it's an issue with an address, you can go into a database called CFARS, California Firearms. Oh, I forget what the A stands for.
California. It's the California DOJ's website.
Correct.
And the system that they set up is called CFARS. CFARS. California Firearms something.
Correct.
Registration system. Doesn't matter what it stands for. Just go to California DOJ's website and look for CFARS. And what do you do with CFARS?
So it's cfars.doj.ca.gov.
Okay.
That is essentially a portal between you and the DOJ, and you have the ability to update the registration of your firearm. So if you move or your address was done improperly, you have the ability to fix that.
Gotcha.
and then it gets corrected. Now, when you report that change to the state, it takes time for them to fix it, and you don't have that corrected and fixed, and the AMA background check will not clear until you get an acknowledgement back from the DOJ that we fixed it, the update is complete.
Okay.
Okay. I will say, however, that if you are doing an AMA background check, shops are allowed to take a verbal correction to your address. So if you have moved or the address was improper while you're waiting for that to be fixed, which you should and need to fix it, you can go to that shop and say, hey, I know that my ID says 123 Main Street, but I've moved and I'm still waiting for the DOJ. You can give a verbal correction. My address that my farm is registered to, because the address they run it needs to match what was on the DROS. So you can verbally correct it to say, I know my ID says 123 Main Street, but when I bought this gun, I lived at 542 Maple Street, right? And then they can take a verbal correction. There are some shops that may have a shop policy to where they don't want their employees to do that, but the DOJ does allow it.
Okay.
So that
so
is an option.
if they do it, they do it. If the shop doesn't
Correct.
want to do it, you got just please
Go
be
to the next
understanding.
one.
Yeah, go to the next one.
Right.
Be understanding that shops are under a lot of pressure, a lot of legal pressure. So sometimes they make. They make their own policies so that they definitely stay on the right side of the law so they can stay open. They want to be able to stay open.
Right.
And then what's the most fun way to update your address?
Oh, you get to buy another gun.
There you go. Or you can just buy another gun and say, hey, here's my new address. Here's everything you need to know about me that's current. And you get to walk away with a gun. That option comes with
I don't see a downside.
With a free gun that you pay for.
And you can also you can also re-register a firearm that's already registered to you, that if you bought it before the 8-ish or so years that the system's been in place, you can re-register through CFARS a gun that you already own legally. Okay. And that puts you in the database as well.
We should seriously start advertising that, hey, if you need to update your address with the California DOJ, it's $1,000 fee.
And you get a free gun.
But it comes with a free gun,
like
right?
I like it.
Oh, glass is half full. So there you go. If it's a name issue, if they've got your name incorrect on the system, you got to go back to the FFL that screwed it up and have them fix it. If it's just an address situation, then you can go to CFARS through California DOJ and you can fix it there, or you can purchase a new gun and give all your information that way.
And CFARS also, too, if you are doing a familial transfer, if you've ever done a familial transfer and you did it online, you would have done that through CFARS. So you may already have an account if you've done that.
There you go. Hey, thanks for watching Gun Owners Radio. I hope you loved that clip. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and follow us on social media. And check out our website at gunownersradio.com.